everyone, in this video I have pulled together some of my top tips on how to look more awake in the mornings. So this is how I looked when I started filming this video and this is how I look now. So really quite effective. Birth of baby a model recommends is imminent, only a couple of weeks to go, so this video is actually quite topical for me because I've got a feeling I'm going to be very tired very soon. So let's get started. Now I think that the key thing here is to have a little bit of patience. So it's really tempting just to grab your foundation, grab your concealer, slather it all on, hide the evidence. But when I was modelling in Japan, I learned a bit of a trick, and actually they do it all over the world really, makeup artists, but in Japan in particular, you used to have really early call times, and they always used to say, don't put your makeup onto a tired face. So you'd get there and they would spend a little bit of time giving you kind of like a mini facial, like a bit of a massage, and it did absolute wonders for depuffing and just making everything look a little bit firmer and less tired. So that's what I try and do if I have the time. Leave my makeup application as long as I possibly can, just so that my face kind of settles into itself and depuffs a little bit. Now I'm going to do a little bit of a massage thing. I just make it up as I go along, but I did find a little bit of a guide on the Super Savvy Me website that shows a couple of massage moves, so I'm going to follow those today just to be a bit more formal. I'm using the Olay Regenerist 3-point Super Age Defying Cream. So by choosing a cream that helps to firm the skin and really reduce the appearance of those little fine lines and, you know, that crepiness, just makes everything look a little less tired. So following the instructions, it says take a 10p sized piece of the 3-point cream and pressing that between the palms to warm that through, and then starting underneath the chin, just using really smooth gliding movements up towards the temples, and then round and round and round the eyes, but not dragging the skin. It's really important. That's why it's nice to use a very hydrating, moisturising cream, just so that it's got some nice slip and you're not dragging that really delicate skin. And then finally using really broad strokes to massage underneath the chin and across the neck, and just giving that really nice lifting effect. So in with my foundation, but before I do that I want to use some kind of highlighter or illuminator just to give that added radiance to the skin. Now lots of people like to use their illuminator on top, so they'll do their foundation and then they'll go in along the cheekbones and the brow bone and things like that, just to spotlight areas of reflection. However, when your whole skin feels a little bit sallow and tired, I think it's quite nice to use your illuminator as a kind of primer, I suppose. So I'm using the Chantecaille liquid Lumiere, and you can see that I'm applying that to all of the larger areas of my skin. So not on the nose, because we don't really want to highlight the nose, but over the cheeks and the forehead. I'm just getting a really, it's actually quite a powerful sheen coming from that. But it's fine because we're going to go over it with the foundation. It's just to give that little extra bit of radiance from underneath. And then in with foundation, I'm using the Max Factor Skin Luminizer foundation. And I've used this a lot recently. This is the one that's got the kind of illuminating pigments that are swelled through the formula, and it just gives a really nice luminous glow. So we've got double glow, but all very nice and subtle. So a nice medium kind of coverage, evening out the skin tone, but nothing mask-like. It still looks very fresh, very dewy, which is what we want. But it wasn't actually the skin in general that I wanted to talk about, even though obviously that does make a huge difference to the overall look. It's eyelids, because lots of people remember to conceal under their eyes, but leave the eyelids. And I don't know whether you can tell, but on my face especially, my eyelids are quite dark and pigmented. And although sometimes it can look quite edgy to leave them in, especially if you're using a darker shadow, I think when you're trying to look awake and combat the signs of tiredness, those reddish brown veins that you get across the lid need to go. So you can either go in with your foundation, just, you know, go over with your buffing brush, or you can go in with your under eye concealer. I'm using the Tilbury Retoucher, so I'm dotting that underneath the eye and then over the lid as well, and just blending that in. And the benefit of that, it gives that extra bit of radiance as well, because it's got quite a lot of highlighter in that, so I feel like I don't really need a shadow as well. And then staying with the eyes, Lots of people skip on this step because they hate them. I hate using them too, eyelash curlers, but they make such a difference to the way that your eyes are opened up. You know, if your lashes are kind of lying flat, then it's closing your eyes down, but if you can really get that curl in, then it opens your eyes up, they look a lot more awake, they look a lot more fresh. So going in there with a standard pair of eyelash curlers, but actually lots and lots of makeup artists I know use, they're kind of like a smaller version and they're a bit more precise, and they just clamp along and then they do extra curling at the outer lashes, because then that gives a lift to the outer corners of the eyes, because when you're tired your eyes can kind of droop down a bit at the corners depending on how old you are. But as you get older that gets a little bit worse, and if you use the eyelash curlers really intensely there, then you're going to get that really nice lift, and it almost cheats a bit of a corner eye lift. And then finishing off the skin. Now, I, like anybody else, love a bit of bronzer. However, I do think, and this is becoming more of a thing for me, that blushers are the powders that make you look a lot less tired, and they've got a really youthful kind of freshening up effect. And lots of makeup artists in the past, if I've had very, very kind of sallow skin or dark circles, they do the concealer, they do the base, but then it's the pop of pinky colour that seems to really counteract any tiredness around the eyes. So I've gone in with the Max Factor Creme Puff Blush, and this is in lovely pink. I think I've used this in a previous video because it's really nice and pale, and it just gives that kind of sun-kissed flush to the apples of the cheeks. You can see I'm taking it quite close to the underneath of the eyes as well. And it's a really nice light powder, so it doesn't feel dull or cakey. It's been baked with these illuminating pigments in it as well, so it's not like you're getting a flat pink colour here. You're getting a really glowy, kind of luminescent pink. So again, really lifting the skin, really making everything look wide awake. And then because I'm feeling a little bit matchy-matchy at the moment, I'm using a lovely pretty pink lipstick. This is Olga, and it's from the new Rouge Coco lipstick collection from Chanel. So really lovely and soft and buttery, and I'm just patting that in. So there we go. Tips for wide awake looking skin. I am feeling a lot more awake than I did at the beginning of this video, so it's obviously working. Now, I do a video like this every single month for a channel called Beauty Recommended, which has loads of brilliant content about makeup and skincare and hair care and grooming. And basically myself or one of my vlogger friends, people like Lily Pebbles and Viviana Does Makeup, we answer the questions that are asked by the viewers. So it's really good fun, and we film video responses like this. So there's one every week. Do go and check that out. I shall put the link to the channel in the description box below, and make sure you like and subscribe, and I shall see you next time.